Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am stoked for Season 16, and I just wanted to get some of my excitement out there and give you my top 5 reasons why, if you're not playing Apex, you need a return in Season 16. So now talking about in-game, the actual Battle Royale, things that I think will make a big difference in what we're seeing in-game. I just think this one's the coolest, so I'm going to start with that, and that's the gold bolt. I mean, being able to reload without having to reload is insane. So they have kind of like the kinetic feeder attachment where you slide and it reloads. I think you have to slide jump from what I understand, but it will reload shells for you. This is insane for pushing. So if you've got high ground, which if you haven't watched my videos, you need to understand why high ground's important. You got high ground, you slide off, you jump slide off of that, and you're reloading that PK for that final blow on 2 or 3 guys. That's going to be huge. I think we're going to see a decrease in the amount of reset that you get naturally, at least from what we've experienced so far, just by this one tool alone. It's going to be crazy. I wonder how often they'll put the gold bolts on the floor, but we'll see. It's probably going to be OP. And speaking of OP things, let's talk about the care packages. So care packages in their nature haven't changed, but what has changed is the class of skirmisher. So you've got like Octane Wraith, Mirage, Horizon, Valkyrie, and Pathfinder. On screen will be the whole list. And they can see what's inside the care package. Not only can they see what's inside the care package, like from a long ways away, it seems like, from what I've heard, they can also hear when people take things from that care package. So if you're rotating to it and you miss it, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have the information that a Kraber was taken or an RE45. And this can very much change how you play in that end circle. You could be a little more defensive or use cover a little heavier, whatever. You get my point that understanding what the other team has is an advantage anytime you can do it. Now, at least they tried to do some balancing acts in that end game. You might have a full team even if you lose one early on in the game, because your support class, which comprises of Gibby, Lifeline, Loba, and Newcastle, is going to be able to craft banners, which is just crazy. I mean, there are so many times that I have died because I tried to get banners and res teammates, and now you could be way more strategic about it. Firing range updates. The big ones that people are talking about is you've got your infinite ammo. You don't, and it's a mode that you can switch on and off. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have infinite ammo, but whatever. So that's there. The second thing is changing the speed of the moving targets in the background. And that is one of the hardest things that I've ever noticed, is that you can practice on the dummies, you can practice on those things, but unless you have a partner in the range, it's really hard to get those movement type shots, especially, you know, people strafing or things like that. And they improved that as well. The dummies will be able to strafe and crouch. So it's going to be a lot tougher for, you know, generic strafing patterns to work on people. This means our skill cap is going to increase again. So if you're not training in the range, you need to start now, and at least they're giving you some tools to be able to do that. The last one I want to talk about is your mobility options as Pathfinder and Wraith. It's absolutely insane that Pathfinder Zip is now going to be double the distance. If you're standing on the snowy banks of not World's Edge, there we go, World's Edge by Epicenter, and you're going to be able to shoot over onto pretty much any building you want, at least a corner of it, in Fragment. Like, I know Fragment's going away, but that's like how far we're talking. It's a really long way. The other thing is Wraith is getting 150 meter portal distance, which also insane. By the time you finish starting and ending your portal, there basically could be like a whole nother firefight that your team has gotten in and lost or won or whatever. Now, one thing that might help counter this is the fact that you can set the targets, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, to a zipline speed, and that might help, but I think it's probably going to get nerfed in the end. I have a bonus one for you though. The number 6, and I couldn't not mention this, is Mirage's ability to invisible res. Now, we already have his invisibility that occurs, but the buff to it is that you will be able to go about 20 meters. You and your teammate will be invisible as long as you don't pull out your gun. I think that this is actually a really big deal, especially in like the lower lobbies, because the whole bamboozle thing, and you can bamboozle anybody. It doesn't matter what level you are. It's how fast they recover from the bamboozle that defines, you know, a newer player from a more expert player. So I think the fact that you can move that distance will give at least one of you a chance to avoid a third-party finisher situation. Guys, these are some of the most strategic things I'm excited for in Season 16. There's a lot of good stuff, like potentially an Ash Heirloom, but this is stuff that in-game I think will change the way we think about how to push and how to take firefights. So if you think there's something else that I'm missing or are just super stoked for, comment down below, and I'll either see you in Season 16 or in the next video.